All right, we have a request from Drew. What's up, guys? GeorgeTheCloud here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to my life. Big shout out to Drew. Thank you so much for being a Patreon and supporting the channel. So he has requested this song here, Something to Talk About by Bonnie Raitt, which I hadn't heard of before. I think I've heard of another Bonnie Tyler. Maybe that's who I'm confusing it with. Well, not even, I haven't even reacted to a single Bonnie here on this channel, so I'm not familiar with her music or anything like that. So I'm going to read a little bit here. I hope you guys don't mind. We are, here for the music as well as the history and the education, right? So Bonnie's great. She's been around since the early 1970s, releasing very electric albums, but major success didn't come for her until much later with 1989's Nick of Time and 1991's Luck of the Draw. I recommend you do a quick scan of the first two paragraphs on her Wikipedia page to get an accurate... way ahead of you, right here. Bonnie Lynn Raitt, born November 8th, 1949, is an American singer-songwriter. In 1971, Raitt released her self-titled debut album. Following this, she released a series of critically acclaimed roots-influenced albums that incorporated elements of rock, blues, country, and folk. She was also a frequent session player and collaborator with other artists, including Warren Zevon, Little Feat, Jackson Browne, the Pointer Sisters, John Prince, and Leon Russell. I don't know most of the people on there. Man, there's a lot of music to get to. All right, in 1989, after several years of limited commercial success, she had a major hit with her 10th studio album, Nick of Time, which included the song Nick of Time. The album reached #1 on the Billboard 200 chart and won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year. It has since been selected by the Library of Congress for preservation in the United States National Recording Registry. That's kind of important. You don't see that often. Her following two albums, Luck of the Draw in 1991 and Longing in Their Hearts in 1994, were multi-million sellers, generating several hit singles, including Something to Talk About, which we're gonna hear and then we're gonna talk about, Love Sneaking Up on You, and the ballad I Can't Make You Love Me, with Bruce Hornsby on piano. Her 2022 single Just Like That won the Grammy Award for Song of the Year. What? Her 2022 single Just Like That won the Grammy Award for Song of the Year? That is insane. Huh. Okay, maybe did I not hear that song? Anyway, let's get into it then. All right. First time reaction. Thank you guys for sticking through the intro. If you would like to support my music journey, please check out my Patreon. It makes a big difference. Grab some popcorn, fill up your water, put your headphones on, and let's go.
Talking about people, I hear them whisper. You won't believe it.
The fade out. You know what? I have heard part of this song before. I think when I was younger, when I arrived at the United States, I must have been like 10 years old when I heard this on the radio. And here's the thing, there's something about the song that throws me off in terms of its era. Like when it came out, because I feel like it would fit in different eras. I'll try to explain. First things first, we hit the like. Let's see, who is this? Does she have a channel? I'll have a link of the original video down in the description below, but I'm gonna see if she has a channel, and I just subscribed before your very eyes. All right, let's go back to the song here. So it came out in 1991, you said? Let me double check. Yeah, 1991, from the album Luck of the Draw. It totally sounds like a mixture of country, blues, and rock, for sure. But with that, since it's a hybrid and creates this sort of special combination, it kind of sounds like it could belong in the 80s, in the 90s, and in the early 2000s. So this is why I'm saying when I first heard this song, it was the early 2000s. It was like 2005, right? So when I heard it, now thinking back, I must have thought, oh, this song just came out. It's from this year or so, right? As a kid. A lot of the music that I've reacted to on here, I've heard as a kid, but I just passively, and I didn't know anything about it. So like, this is one of those songs that I'm rediscovering. Like, it just core memory unlocked for some reason. Now I'm like, oh my God, I did hear the chorus. Let's give them something to talk about. What about love? That part I remember. And yeah, I'm just like, what? Where do I put her? I'm in shock. Where do I put her in my catalog of artists? See, I like to be very organized. I have maybe like OCD or something like that in my mind, and I like to organize physically but also mentally. And so if you can see the channel, that's why I have things separated by like the decades and stuff like that. I like to be clean. But now discovering her, I'm like, man, she has a very kind of raspy voice. I mean, not like very, but enough that gives her that like that kind of country umph, right? But it also goes along with a little bit of blues when they used to go on these like crazy runs, and it was like Janis Joplin kind of thing. It's like, you just sing whatever you want kind of thing. And of course, with the electric guitar, maybe a little bit heavy drumming, then it goes into rock. She kind of reminds me of this other artist I reacted to once, similar in genre, like the combination here. Water. Melissa Etheridge, Bring Me Some Water. She reminds me of her a little bit, and they were probably around the same time. But yeah, I definitely like her voice. And while I was listening to this, I was actually picturing her live on stage. It was just like very vivid in my mind. I was like, okay, she's walking in this stage, and there was a crowd, and the people playing. I could picture this being like super hard hitting in a live setting, right? In a concert or a show. But yeah, I guess I'm starting the rabbit hole here. Something to talk about. All right. Well, thank you, Drew. And guys, if you have suggestions, feel free to comment, subscribe. I will be here. This is only the beginning. So stay tuned till the next.